And of course, it didn't take any time at all. You're live.
That was quick. No delay at all?
No delay at all.
Well, of course, because you were ready for a delay.
I was ready. Yeah.
Good Friday evening, everyone. It is time for Friday Night Live with the Rhotens. So,
We're early.
we're a few minutes early, but that's all right. We're actually just late from last week, since we really did try to do a live last week, but as it turned out, we were actually on kind of a remote area called Seldovia. You had paid for all of us to do an excursion over there, which is about an hour boat ride outside of Homer, and it's over in a kind of a really kind of an exclusive area.
Renee's
but it was
here.
Hi, Aunt Renee. But yeah, it was amazing. Seldovia was it was just so cool,
It was so beautiful.
and we actually got a tour all the way around the island.
I'm going to turn this
And,
off 'cause of the shadow.
We just had an amazing time. Our Alaska trip was absolutely fabulous. Renee and Steve and Jimmy and Susie were amazing hosts for us. So we did some boat fishing. Vicky caught some big halibut. I caught some little halibut. Well, I caught one big halibut and some salmon.
Well, that was Renee's birthday too, which
And
yeah.
made
Renee's
it even better. That's
Yeah.
my oldest daughter.
Renee's 65th birthday. But it was absolutely incredible. The last day, my nephew and my brother-in-law took me fishing down to Indian Creek, and it was incredible. It was just so much fun. But anyway, so Vicky caught halibut. I caught some salmon and some halibut, and we got a whole bunch of it in the freezer.
We had halibut for dinner last
We had halibut for dinner last night. Yeah, and we
Yeah,
came
they
home.
brought it home. They brought a big box home on the plane.
We came home with, about 40 pounds of fillets, salmon, and mostly halibut, but some salmon as well. So we had just a terrific time.
So
Anything?
you caught both salmon and halibut, and Vicky just caught halibut.
Right, yeah. Because I caught the salmon in the river, and then over at the fishing hole, I got one over there, and then in the river. But Vicky just caught stuff on the boat. She didn't go river fishing where I did. What else? Anything you want to add to that as far as the trip goes?
I caught more fish than Eric, more halibut than Eric.
Yes, you did.
And I caught the first fish.
You did
We
catch
should
the
have had
first
money
fish.
on this one again,
Yeah, we should have.
like we did when we went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who was going to get more tired from pushing that electric reel button and me cranking? Yeah. Yeah, we should have had a bet on
Natalie
that.
Baker says she loves your hat.
Oh, this hat is actually a gift. It was here when we got back from Alaska from my buddy Peter Georgopoulos. It is stinking cool. It is amazing. I love it. So if you're watching, Peter, thank you so much. I talked to you on the phone, but it really is my favorite hat right now, no doubt. And I got a new shirt. So this is a world famous bar/grill. You went in there. I didn't even go in there.
It's just a bar.
Called Salty Dog. Renee knows all about it. I don't know if you can see it there. My wife bought this for me, but it's in Homer, Alaska, world famous. So anyway, if you guys ever get to Homer,
It's even more
Yes,
famous
Renee,
now.
we're still sore. Renee said, "Are you still sore from reeling your fish in?" Yes, my thumb is sore, Renee.
yeah, I'm not sore. I'm just jealous that Jimmy's down there fishing more than me. Anyway, that's another subject. But next year we'll be going back to Indian Creek, I'm pretty sure. In regards to the trip, on the way up, we stopped in Seattle at the Seattle airport, and we met with Billy McGee. And Billy, if you're watching, that was so much fun hanging out with you for an hour. And is Billy on there? Had a blast with you, man. That was so much fun. So I heard a little bit about Billy's story and the things he's working on. He's working on a super cool table resin project right now, and I can't wait to see when it gets done. So be sure to send me pictures of that when you get it done, Billy. So, Dad?
I'm fine. I stayed here and took care of things while they were off playing in Alaska.
Yes, he did.
My granddaughter Rachel and I just kept things going while they were off playing. So
Yeah,
Somebody's got to do the hard part.
yeah, yeah. We had to pack
well,
the fish.
that's why we spent all these years building this up so we could pretty much do what we wanted to do. And I really, it's not like 20 years ago when I really enjoyed going off and climbing the rocks and doing all that stuff. Anymore at my age, I kind of like just sticking around the property. I do a lot of work on the property. I'm building a planter and a big flagpole, a base, and all kinds of stuff. We'll probably show it to you after I get it done. But I enjoy what I do now.
So next on the agenda is, many of you know we've got a class/seminar coming up in September 28th, 29th. And we actually had a cancellation. So we actually have an opening, and we're gonna pick a name. Are you gonna pick it? We have, for the waiting list, there was actually a bunch of people that were on a waiting list. So we're gonna pick, Vicky is gonna pick a name, and that person is gonna be invited to come to the class. If you can make it, if you can't, then
No, this name's going back.
why?
I don't want to see this guy.
Who is it?
Don Borden.
Don Borden? Don was actually at our last one. Yeah, one of our
Don
last ones.
Borden.
Don Borden. So if you can make it, Don,
He gives me nothing but crap.
is he on there?
Not
Is
yet.
he's probably not watching
No.
tonight. So we'll be in touch with Don. So Don, Vicky will get in touch with you and give you all the details. But again, if something happens, there's a cancellation, guys. We'll pick another one out of the waiting list. If you want to be added to that waiting list, you can't. Vicky's
No,
shaking her head.
we have-
It's actually a little too late now because all the money has to be in by the end of next month, which is just $200 for the weekend. And that'll include all kinds of
Your
stuff.
granddaughter's
What?
on here. Gwenny says, hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Gwenny.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Queenie.
So anyway, Don, Vicky will be in touch with you if you're watching this. She'll be in touch with you about details and all that. You know the drill. Okay, so I guess I can get into the demo. That was quick. We
Well,
kind of.
we were 5 minutes.
That's
5 minutes
right.
early,
We were
so-
5 minutes early. So what I'm going to do is the video that I did the other day was on packing a big sign, and that kind of prompted some questions that I got on email and different comments, which is kind of a regular thing. And being as my sister is watching, I'm doing this for her as well, because she does her packaging a little bit different than I do mine. So I'm going to go through this, but this would all be covered if you want to go back. And I know there's a bunch of brand new people that may not have seen this video. If you go back and watch the video Coffee and Questions 8/3, I did a packaging that's similar to what I'm going to do now. But we actually have a playlist of packaging and shipping. So there's like 16 videos in there. There's probably a lot of good information if you haven't seen it of how we do our stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to package a sign temporarily and show you how I go about it. So I've just got a 6x24 sign. And now what I normally do with these, that's a good idea, thank you. What I normally do with these is I put them either in a plastic sleeve, or what I like now is Dad actually bought a roll of tubing. This is actually 10 inches and it's 6 mil thick, which I really, really like. So he bought this, I believe he bought it on Uline. This is actually the product. It's 10 by 1,000 yards, 1,000 feet, 10 feet by 10 inches by 1,000 feet. Now you could probably buy a smaller roll than that, That I'm not sure of, but that's where
I
it got
think
it.
you can buy 500-foot roll, but I'm not sure.
Yes, but this stuff is really good. This is what I wrap my signs in. So what I do is, now the reason I like this 10-inch roll is because, and I just cut this a few inches longer on the ends, is because it gives it a little more, number one, a little bit more padding on the front. Oop, let me fix my tape dispenser. And as well as if you've got a wide sign like 12 inches or 14 inches or something like that, then what you can do is you can split one edge of it and open it up and do it that way. And then that way this 10-inch piece will work for a lot of different sizes. So this is what I do first, is just wrap it in this. I'm just doing this quickly. And I would be putting my bag of hooks and my card and maybe a personalized note in there with that.
So you send along the screw eyes and the hooks for hanging hardware.
Correct.
You send that with the sign.
That would go right in here. And I put that in a little Ziploc baggie. Put it in here along with one of my business cards. Normally I put a rubber stamp on the back of all my signs, but it wasn't necessary on this one. Anyway, so then I will use either bubble wrap, but here's an alternative to bubble wrap. Is we ship everything pretty much priority mail. So what I do is I take 3 envelopes, I take one and I'll leave 3 or 4 inches, something like that at the end.
Where do you get those envelopes?
Go ahead.
You order them on the USPS website.
Yes,
They're all free.
if you ship a priority mail, they are all free.
And we like free.
So the reason I leave it long at the end is I want a little extra padding at the end. Just makes a nice little pad. Now again, you don't have to use these. Oops, I went the wrong way. You can use bubble wrap. That's what I used to use.
The bubble wrap you have to buy.
Yes, correct.
You can order this. You can order these priority mail padded flat rate
And
envelopes.
we order what, like 500 at a time?
Normally, but we ship a lot too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the criteria
They come
is.
100 to a box. You can order
You can
smaller
order
quantity.
10 at a time.
But we buy boxes of 100 because we use them when we ship out. We ship stuff out in them every day.
So that gives you a nice padded package for your sign. Now what I do is I use the priority mail boxes.
Renee, this is for you.
This is for you. So let me explain something here. You've got these priority mail boxes. Some people, there's 3 different sizes here, and some people would say, well, wait a minute, those are flat rate boxes that you can only put however much you can get in there, and that's it. These are not flat rate boxes, but the flat rate boxes look just like this, except they say flat rate box on them. These you ship by weight, which means that you can put them together. Okay, so let me give you some part numbers. This is a 1092, or excuse me, 1097, 1092, and 1095. That's what these 3 are. The small one's a 1097, the medium's a 1092, and the large is a 1095. I know I'm going through a lot of stuff. But again, you could probably go back to that video. But let me show you what I do now. So I will take, these have a self-seal little peel off thing there. So I will seal up one end of it. So I take that, set that aside. Now I'm going to take another 1097. And this works really good for the 6x24s. But if you've got a 12x24, you want to go with a couple of probably the 1095s, which is the bigger. So now I'm not going to peel that off right now. I'm going to leave it. What I'm going to do is just temporarily seal it. Okay? So now we've got our 2 different boxes. I'm going to open these little flaps up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to make this one so it'll go inside of the other one. All I'm doing is just cutting up some corners there so those won't collapse.
If you don't have one of them handy dandy knives, scissors work real well for that.
Yeah, scissors work too. I've done this a few times. I did it earlier today. Now, that goes together like that, and all we have to do is just seal that up. So what I do normally, I seal up the corner, all four corners there, just to make sure that it's in good shape there. Then I will go, I'll kind of split my tape so I've got both sides of that. Then I'm going to go on the outside of that both ways, overlapping it. I don't like the idea of these boxes coming apart. Now, if
You've
you
never had one come apart.
No.
He may be overdoing a little bit, but
I'm not.
But the tape is cheap.
Yeah.
And just to be sure you don't have any problem with it.
Now, we have actually been in a post office, and this is not a lie. Dad and I were together, actually multiple times, where the post people will say, you can't put those boxes together. If they tell you that, tell them they're wrong. If they're flat rate boxes, you cannot put them together. But these are not flat rate boxes. So when you get these boxes, just make sure that they don't say flat rate on them. If they don't, I have put 3 of these together if I had a 36-inch sign, and literally I tube them together. So now that that's done, now I'll just open up that.
We've been doing this now for probably 20 years.
At least.
And there's been a time or two that somebody said, no, you can't do that. But we always go with the post office, and the postmaster said, sure.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Because everything is priority mail, not flat rate.
Yeah, so if these boxes that you get, just make sure they're not flat rate. But if they're 1092s, 1095s, or 1097s, they're not flat rate. That's the part number for these boxes. These are 1097s. So now my box is ready to go. I put now what I do normally, and you can see, well, let me see, let's pull that back out of there. It is just a few inches longer than my sign. So now to fill those in, any number of different things. We like, every time we get an Amazon order, we keep the paper or the peanuts or the bubble wrap, we keep all that stuff because we ship
Or newsprint.
Yeah. Now, one thing, and I don't think I even told you, by accident the other day, Shane was over here. Shane told me that if you go to any, like a newspaper place, they might, and at the end of a roll, a lot of times they sell end rolls, which is what he said, that's what this stuff is. That's what it's made from, is end rolls. And you can get it super cheap, a lot cheaper than we get this.
Yeah, because we buy this from Uline.
Right.
Which is very expensive. It's just, you always get it in 2 or 3 days maximum.
The shipping is.
But we have an actual, like right down the road, and I'm going to go and check with them and see if they have packaging.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that is, I'm trying to think what I'm forgetting here, but I think that is just about.
We buy
everything.
We buy this from Uline.
Yeah, this we buy from Uline.
And you get like 400 or 500 sheets of it. Lasts a long time.
Yeah, so what I would do is I would just literally put that in there and then stuff this around the sign. I probably would normally put a little bit at the bottom, and then put it on the sides and then at the top. But it depends on how big your sign is. So again, if you've got a 12 by 24, you wouldn't use the 1097s. You'd probably use the 1095s. No, this is only 11 and a half.
I think 12 and a half, 14, something like that.
It's actually 12 and a half.
12 and a half.
12 and a half.
14, yeah.
So, yeah, if you need bigger, then use the other ones. And again, you You can put 3, and I don't. So that is questions about that. Let us know when you get to the end. We got people chiming in. We never even talked about that.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick. Hold on.
Here's a piece of just gives you an idea. We get a lot of Amazon shipments constantly. So
All right, so we've got Oklahoma, Texas, Pennsylvania, Alaska, Georgia, Ohio, Wisconsin, New York, Ohio, Boston,
guys.
Scotland, Andy Ander. Hi from Andy over in Ayrshire, Scotland.
hey, Andy.
Welcome.
South Carolina, Kentucky, Alabama, Ohio,
I like the Scots.
Warsaw, New York, Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee.
Very cool. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Pennsylvania.
I hope this was helpful for you. I think we're getting ready to do a giveaway.
Pennsylvania, St. Louis, Virginia. Let's see, Boykin, Virginia. DIY Wally from Canada.
Hey, Wally.
Renee said, thank you guys for the wrapping info, very helpful. Keith Smith, do you use keyholes to hang your signs?
I have used those. I don't normally because most of my signs go outside. So we've just always been in the kind of in the realm of doing the screw eyes in the.
Yeah, we drill them on the top on 12-inch centers and on the centers top and bottom so they'll all hang together. So
Yeah.
that's the way we do it.
Most of the time.
Using a keyhole on them, it's a special setup and it does make a nice way to hang them, but it's primarily for inside. So, but we have in the past used keyholes.
I like that.
But most of our stuff is drilled on top and bottom with them. We use eye hooks and screw eyes.
I really like, if I was going to do a lot of stuff for inside, I really like the French cleat system that we showed the other day with that metal strip on the back and the metal strip where it just goes on the wall. I really like that.
Yeah, because you can make those out of wood.
Yeah.
And they're actually, it's a better hanger than the
keyhole.
Than the keyhole.
By far, yeah. Yeah, I've made them out of wood before, where I just cut it out of 45. That's how I did Izzy's sign and several big signs that I've done. I like a French cleat better than the screw eyes or the keyhole.
Charlie Brewster says, I have to admit, I put it up on the big screen in my living room, and that's the best information about sign packaging I've heard to date.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
Glad to hear that.
You can tune in anytime.
Renee said, we had 90 degrees yesterday. You forgot to take your heat back home with you.
Well,
90 degrees over there is...
that would be warm.
Whoa.
Yeah, that would be
And
warmer.
David Martin from Brisbane, Australia.
Hey, David. Great to hear from you.
All right.
So, time for the... So, we have a large... We're kind of
Thank
getting
you,
rid
I
of...
need it.
Huh?
I'm just talking. Somebody says they like my grandma's sign.
So we have a large blue. Sawdust Makes Me Happy. That's the one we're actually giving away.
Domestic.
So if you're not a large, then yes. And this only going domestic, by the way. The international shipping just kills us. So we are going to do it based on a trivia question. So if you guys have been watching tonight, the very first person that answers this question correctly, that Vicky sees, so sometimes there's a glitch in there. So the first one that Vicky sees that answers the question correctly in the United States, we will send this shirt to you. And that doesn't count for my sister. My sister's out of the running. Anyway, so we just went to Alaska, and what kind of fish did Vicky catch?
Yummy ones.
That's the question.
Stephen Coyne, halibut.
Stephen Coyne, I think he's won before, hasn't he?
I don't know, but he won.
All right.
Stephen Coyne.
Stephen, you did it again. I think. Stephen, did you win before? Like
We don't have any restrictions on how many
Oh,
times.
no. Terrific. Good for you, man. Excellent. Steven, shirts
If
on the
you
way.
if you want us to sign it, if you want these shirts signed, be sure to let us know.
Let us
And
know.
we can take a Sharpie and sign them for you if you like.
Okay, we are.
We have a question back there. Hold
we
on.
are in the
Bruce
Q&A.
Peter said, I'm sorry.
Bruce.
I think if I was using a keyhole, there would be a minimum sign thickness. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. See, some of my cedar fencing is really only ½ inch thick sometimes because it gets down pretty thin. So if I was using a keyhole, I would definitely want 3/4 inch material.
You can do it in 1/2 inch though, because I've done it a lot.
Okay.
So it'll work in 1/2 inch. Anything thinner than that, you're taking a chance on going too deep with your keyhole. But 1/2 inch will work fine.
And you wouldn't run into the 1/4 inch deep.
Not as long
carving?
as you're careful and you know where the keyhole is, you know where your carving is.
Tex Ferrugia
Yeah.
says,
Tex.
thanks for the tip. Just ordered some padded envelopes.
Okay. There you go, Tex.
So the Norman Sappenfield answered the question. What fish did I caught? He said
Yeah.
a big one.
A big one.
And Renee says, I have a hat from you. I'm good.
She did get it. Yeah.
Steven said, sure, sign it. He wants us
Okay.
to sign it.
We'll autograph it for you. Good.
Okay. Does
All right.
anybody have any more questions?
Any other questions?
How do you surface your cedar, plain or belt sander?
Plain or belt sander?
Surface.
Always belt sander. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Or surface the cedar. Almost. It would be with a belt sander, definitely. The reason I say that is because the cedar that I use is a cedar fencing, and almost always it has a cup to it. So a planer would have to take off so much that you would end up with a board that's too thin, whereas a belt sander would follow that contour. So yes, the cedar that I use. Now, if you're using cedar decking, that's 1.5 inch, like the 1.5 inch redwood decking that I get, then a planer, why not? I would use a planer in that instance. But the cedar that I use is the cedar fencing, so definitely a belt sander because you need to be able to follow that contour. So, and what I do is I surface it just enough not to take any extra surface off of it. I surface it just enough on the front of the sign, and that's where you would have the cup. The crown would be in the center. Remember, that would be the surface of the sign. If it's this way, then the surface of the sign is here. You definitely want to have that bow or that crown in the center so that router base will follow that. But I would always surface it just enough to give me a good layout, and not even touch the back until the sign is completely done. Then I will touch the back enough to get the roughness off and sand the surface. That way you keep the maximum amount of material there.
Okay. This is for you, Dave.
Good.
Acquaintance.
Yep.
He said, this message is for Dave. Dave, at one time I used to make walking sticks until I started making signs. I have one for you. I'll be sending it to you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Coincidentally, I've been watching a YouTube channel, and if you guys have never seen this, take the time to go watch it. And this is nothing away from you, but this guy called Stennett Sticks, Stennett, Sticks. This guy is absolutely the most phenomenal wood sculptor that I have ever seen. He carves walking sticks with animals on top and snakes crawling off them. And you'd look at it and you would swear to God it was a real snake. He takes the time to make it absolutely. If you've never watched a YouTube channel, Stennett's Sticks, go watch it. It's absolutely phenomenal. But having said that, that just reminded me that I use a walking stick every day when I go walking. And I would be so proud to have you send me one of your walking sticks.
Okay.
Excellent.
Stephen Coyne says, do I need to contact Vicki? Stephen, no, nothing has changed. I have you in the computer, so as long as nothing's changed, we're good. Bruce Peters says, I may have missed, but I'm curious, who caught the biggest fish?
Thank you.
Eric caught
Good.
the biggest one.
Thank
I
you for
caught
asking.
If we're talking halibut, I caught the most halibut. I caught the first halibut.
And I got the biggest.
And Eric got the biggest, and then you got the salmon. I didn't go salmon fishing.
Yeah, I think Vicky's halibut, she caught 2 of them around the 30-pound mark, and I think mine was closer to 40, 35 to 40.
And it tastes great.
Earlier, mine was 25 and his was 30 or 35. Now we're up 5 pounds.
Yeah, well,
doesn't
it
matter.
grows with time.
That's
It's
fishermen
older
for
now,
you.
it grew.
When
Yeah.
fishermen get together and start talking about fish,
I know.
somehow they always grow.
Renee says Vicky caught the biggest fish.
Vicky
on that trip I did, but Eric caught the biggest one on the first day out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the salmon was really fun. Oh
the
my
salmon
gosh.
was, oh my gosh.
Is Jimmy
barbecued it.
is Jimmy watching?
I don't know. Renee, is Jimmy here?
He's probably out fishing. It was the most amazing thing. I caught all those fish like we were down at the river, and it was like 11 o'clock at night and bright daylight, and we could have fished till midnight. It's
Well, it didn't start getting dark until what? 12?
like 12:30, 1
1
o'clock.
o'clock.
Yeah. Oh my
And it
gosh.
was like full-fledged noon light outside. It was-
That's why they call Alaska the land of the midnight sun.
Oh,
Gosh.
it was incredible.
It was amazing.
If you like being outside, the weather was absolutely perfect. Anyway, we may have to do it again next year.
We'll do it again
yeah.
next year. I've already got my jar, my Alaska fishing jar.
So, is there any other questions? Because there's one last thing I want to talk about.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, so you guys may or may not remember, but a year ago in February, we had a meetup in Atlanta when we went to Workbench Con, and we had several people come out to that. Victoria and Chuck
and Linda.
Chuck and Linda
And little corduroy.
and a good friend of ours that actually made our shirts for us, Steve McCullough. This is a picture of Steve, and he just passed away this last Friday. Steve was an amazing guy.
And he's been with us on our YouTube videos and stuff for 15 years at least,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah, he's
He's
just
a hell of a guy.
Was just I've talked to him on the phone dozens
Many
of times,
times, yeah.
and he made our shirts for us, made our mugs. He just was such a delight, and to get to meet him finally after all those years, a year and a half ago, was truly a pleasure. And he had some health issues and passed away last Friday, and he will be missed.
Yeah, our deepest sympathy to his wife and his family.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of the
he was truly one of a kind.
He was really
Great sense
an
of
amazing man, former firefighter and hero, and he will be missed. I'll miss our conversations and our get-togethers. Anyway, all of our thoughts and prayers go out to the McCullough family. Thank you so much for reaching out and letting us know. Anyway, guys, that is it. Sorry to end on such a somber note, but I really owed it to Steve to give him a shout out. I love that man. Okay, Monday is another large sign carvers of the day, and then Wednesday I'll be doing a demo, a special thing I've got set up, and then we'll be starting a brand new project. Probably it will be just a one video project that is going to be something different that I've never done. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen it done, which I'm really excited about because I've been playing around with it. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy belated 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I hope you guys are being safe out there, and don't drink and drive. Be safe. Be smart. And we will see you on Wednesday. Yeah, give us a thumbs up on this if you would. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Click that little bell icon so you get notified when we do videos 3 times a week. And I'm on Instagram every day. Make a wood sign. That's it. Any last words, Dad?
No, I'm still working on my flagpole project. And as I get that done, we will be posting some videos on that. I didn't make a how-to step-by-step video on it, but once I get it done, we'll post it. so you can see what I've done.
Okay, that's it. Thanks again, everybody. We love you all.
Have a safe weekend.
We'll see you on
May
Monday.
tell Jimmy to catch lots of fish. She
Yeah.
said they're out fishing right now.
I figured.
All right.
Kill it.
Good night.